Hello, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful day for streaming. As I have to wipe my mic clean. Gotta speak to Otto because we haven't played this game in a hot minute. I miss playing this game. I really do. Anywho, let's go talk to Otto. Um, Jesus. Now that I'm fully awake, I guess. Uh, we have some announcements to make about some stream stuff that's actually going to work for me because it actually helps me in the long run. Clive, you're so cool looking in this armor. I'm not going to lie. It suits him so well. And when you give the skin of every sword that looks like his dad's sword, chef's kiss. Should be in the next Dissidia game. If we'll ever get one! Anyway.
What do we know, Otto?
Some lads from the Imperial garrison in Rosaria started a fight over at Martha's Rest. Blood was spilled, bones were broken. The usual. But somewhere in the middle of it all, Martha vanished without a word to anyone. And that ain't like her, Clive. Something's not right.
You think this was planned?
Course it bloody was. Ever since Eastpool, the Empire's been tightening its grip round the Duchy's balls. They've strung up everyone who's ever set eyes on a runaway, claiming they're traitors to the Holy Throne, conspiring to restore the House of Rosfield to power. And now it sounds like the bastards have turned their attentions to the pallbearers meek enough to stay put. Naturally, old Martha could see the way the wind was blowing, complained that it was getting harder and harder to take bearers in.
And now she's missing. If she's fallen into the hands of the Empire, we could be next.
Couple of curse breakers are already on their way to the inn. They should help speed up the search. But if this is as bad as I think it is, you might end up having to save their asses and all.
Don't worry, Otto. I'll make sure everyone gets home safe.
In a world full of British people, I have yet to see an Australian. I'm a little upset. So,
have you finished sorting those reports yet?
Finished? I ain't started. Been busy enough with my own work.
You're pulling my leg, aren't you? Otto's gonna skin me alive.
still not a single Australian. I'm a little bit mad. Whatever you say, you floating fuzzball.
Martha is a survivor. We'll find her.
I know we will. I don't want to talk to Vivian. So, a little bit about what the whole big plan is, because I've been away for a hot minute. Again, because I had a good run at the start of the year, and then it was just kind of like, what happened? What's V going through? Blah, 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 blah. A lot. And a lot. And a lot. It's...
Finish with that on back, Sid.
It's just a lot's been going on to where until things calm down, I have to do some small changes.
Damn blighted bilge. Is everything all right?
Aside from the holes in my hull, everything's roses.
The lake water doesn't agree with it, then?
Nope.
That's one way of putting it. And unless you got some grand scheme to suck the black from the lake like we do in the atrium, that slurry will keep eating away at the timber like young Tech does our lemon tarts. Suppose a coat of pitch might stave off the rot for a moon or so, assuming we had any pitch, which we don't. There'll be bloody more. Doubt the old tub's got more than a dozen runs left in him.
Of course, Obelisk. Your skiff is our only means of reaching the mainland. Without it, we'd be lost.
Well, I'm glad someone round here sees it that way. To make pitch, you need pitch trees. But in case you haven't noticed, live trees are one of the 1,000 things sorely lacking in the Deadlands. Now, I'm not so unkind as to ask you to fell a faraway forest and lug the logs back here to the mere, which is why we'll be needing a suitable alternative.
Listening.
And it just so happens I once heard the thorny pitchers of Curltail Falls cover themselves in a sticky wax to trap birds and beetles and whatnot. Might be enough to tide me over.
Right.
Sounds easier than felling a faraway forest. That's for certain.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, that's great. So, if I were to go to the reads. By the power of the Obelisk. Jill, where's Torgal? Oh, there he is. Alright, now that my two favorite people are here, we run.
Easier than felling a forest, I said. The trees don't have teeth.
Don't you dare, Nocturne. Besides, how can you say no to an adorable dog?
Over here!
Enemy slain. Listen. Listen.
I can't imagine Obelisk needing any more than this.
Jill just reminds me of somebody that's very important. Just like Mitsuru does. It's fine. But I'm glad Nocturne is here because as my head moderator and my future CFO, he has to know the changes to the schedule. It's in his contract. So with so much that has been going on, not because I wanted to have my schedule fall the wayside, a lot of things that happen on a personal scale have come up to where I can't stream like I want to. It's something all streamers go through and they don't want to talk about, but I figured since so many people are just like, oh, you're so inconsistent, what's the problem? All I'm going to say is a lot in the background happens, and it's just preventing me from doing the streams I wanted to do. I wanted to do 2 B-roll streams a week with 3 streams, just regular talking to you guys a day. I can't do that. So here's the thing. We'll be attempting to go back to the Wednesday streams of doing Neo the World Ends with You. That's fine. Mondays and Thursdays, we're striking from the record, but every weekend will be a bi-weekly thing. This week is going to be Final Fantasy XVI on Saturday and Ghost of Tsushima on Sunday, but the following weekend will be Persona 3 Reload and another game that has recently fallen into my lap of one of the Tales of games. Either that or Ghostwire Tokyo. It depends on my mood on that Sunday. Actually, yeah, it is Abyss. So that's going to be that Saturday and Sunday schedule. This Saturday and Sunday, it's more of like the actual like big story stuff because of the overarching narrative in a sense. While the other weekend will just be high anime nonsense. Like so much anime nonsense. It has a guy with a mask. It has emo high schoolers. It has Mitsuru. It's going to have everything you're going to need that weekend. But that's going to be the whole schedule. Wednesday, we're going to try to get back on tap because it's in my backlog for a long time. I've already beaten the game. I just want to show you guys the ending in an actual playthrough because I feel bad about that. And every weekend will just be a bi-weekly thing till all the games are completed. Because I have so many games I already have. I just want to knock out all of my backlog at a reasonable pace where I don't end up bored or like every other streamer. They're just like, I'm going to specialize in this. And then they just grow to hate the game that they are playing because they play it all the time as a job. I've never wanted that. Last Remnant is after 16. We've discussed this, Nocturne. After 16 is done, we're doing Last Remnant, and then after we're done with Ghost of Tsushima, we'll be doing Black Myth Wukong. And then it'll just be a trade out for what will be the bi-weekly thing on the other side of Saturday and Sunday. So that's what we're doing.
Well, did you find me some wax?
Find is one way of putting it.
I had to rip this out of some plant demons, but you don't want to hear it, so take your fucking wax.
Reeks like a chocobo's arse. Well, I don't suppose the Argo will mind as long as he stays above the waves.
Argo. So your boat has a name. I didn't know.
Yeah. Same as me old man. He was a ferryman himself back before the blight came. The boat's all I have left of him. And thanks to you, he'll sail another day.
That's so nice. I like doing these side missions. Now when do I level up, damn it? Thank you. I can now take more hits and dish them out. And I got a badge of courage. / badge of might, depending on how you look at it. Alright, now we're gonna go to Martha's Rest. But, yeah, guys, that's the whole change in schedule, which means I'm doing 2 streams every Wednesday.
We need to find the others.
I'm literally doing 2 streams on a Wednesday. 1 stream on this one, and the other one on my business. Jesus Christ, so many fucking voices.
Let's get you to a physical, shall we? I'd rather not.
I'm sorry. I think I twisted something.
Jesus Christ, so many fucking voices. Can't a motherfucker just talk?
Sid? What said you'd be coming?
What up, Cole?
Trust you don't mind. Also thought you might need some help. And it appears he was right.
You, could say that, yes. They're saying the Imperials ascended like a storm. No one was spared their fury. Martha tried to step in and calm things down, but all her efforts got her with a pair of iron shackles and a hard march.
Any idea where?
Judging by their tracks, they headed towards Sorrowwise Bay.
To the Abbey, sheltering Martha's bearers.
The bastards. Jill and I will go after them. You take care of the people here.
We will. But, before you go, one of the locals heard something. He said the soldiers were talking about the color. I don't know how big this is, but it doesn't sound good. Be careful out there, Sid.
You do the same.
I will agree that Final Fantasy has lost its path.
Cole is right. That was no tavern brawl. It was a message.
But a culling. Bearers are the property of the Empire. The garrison wouldn't have the authority to act alone. The orders would have had to have come from higher up.
On a story perspective. So I was still eating and then they were talking. But yeah, Final Fantasy has lost its path on a story side of stuff to just be a Witcher clone in recent years. I think after 12, it got to the point where they're just trying to make it more of a Shakespearean tale, but more like King Richard III and King Lear, and borrowing heavily from George R.R. Martin rather than making it a narrative spectacle.
It's over.
Add into it how they've done Final Fantasy VII Remake being a very Christopher Nolan-esque spectacle rather than an actual tangible story. What the fuck?
Arthur, are you hurt?
Don't worry about me. It's them at the Abbey who need you. You have to do something. Tell us what happened.
What happened? The damn Black Shields, that's what happened.
The Black Shields.
The bastards caught wind. The Abbot and I were taken bears. The haggis both. When the secret rose from their beds. Poor souls turned to the Imperials. Distracted them long enough for me to get away.
Then they may still be alive.
No.
Arthur, do you think you can make it out to the end? Where were the other Curse
I think so. Thank you, Clive.
Had to blow my nose.
Black Shields. Is this some sort of twisted joke? There's only ever been one Order of Shields in Rosaria, and they fought to defend all her citizens.
Seems a step too far. Even for the Empire.
Oh god, my nose.
Not alone. Very well.
Get him. Go for him. Get him.
I was gonna say if we can make it to Final Fantasy 20, it will be a certain streamer I want to talk about, but the more I talk about her, she ends up more popular, so I'm just gonna stop mentioning her name. But, and for everyone that's probably wondering, no, it's not Amaranth that I'm trying to say if you're watching the VOD, which is just how Final Fantasy is a couple of steps away from being that one pretty girl you're attracted to until she opens up her mouth to showcase that she's all looks and no brains. But, where was I before in my ramble? Right, so this is probably just me and Nocturne, but Final Fantasy 12 was probably the last time it actually felt like a genuine story of Final Fantasy that didn't have to tailor make itself to be something that felt like a soulless rehash of stuff. Because by the time 13 came around, what did it offer? It offered Final Fantasy VIII merged with other Final Fantasies, like I think Final Fantasy V and shit like that. And because of it, it just never felt like a real world, because 13 was more just like, what if we make a very shallow and pedantic Michael Bay movie? And then it got worse as the sequels came about. I already know my big sister Schweebs is just gonna tear me a new one, be like, Vinny, you don't understand. It's such a good game. No, it's not, Schweebs. I'm sorry. 13 is terrible. It sucks. I know you're defending it because it's one of your favorite games, and I love you, but it's not good. But after 13, everyone's just like, oh, the saving grace is 14, but 14's an MMO, where the MMO takes notes from all the prior games to be whatever. So then we go to 15. Now, everybody knows, because I Platinum 15, I actually like 15 in concept. But here's the thing. I had to pause this because I know I'm about to fight soon. Here's the thing. 15 had everything to be good about it, but Square didn't want to go the extra mile to make a modern Final Fantasy feel like a good game. They purposely took people away from it to make something else. They purposely took a lot of people to then work on Final Fantasy VII Remake. They took a lot of people away to work on Kingdom Hearts 3. So all that they gave it was scraps. That's why 15 wasn't as solid as it was gonna be, but they kept making excuses for it, and even kept blaming the beta testers and the team members that were still working on the shit. And from it, 15 suffered because Square didn't want to pour in other resources to make it good. They wanted to focus more on trying to make Final Fantasy VII Remake a Christopher Nolan movie. And as such, we ended up with shoddy products of 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3, which, if you guys also know from my streaming channel, I hated playing 3 after a certain point, because it's very pointless and empty. What did it accomplish for the continuing continuity that Tetsuya Nomura did? Absolutely fucking nothing. It felt as shallow and vague as ever. But everyone's then just trying to suck off Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth because it's just like, oh yes, this is that Square goodness. Oh yes, let me just work the shaft. I get it. You guys love it for nostalgia purposes. That's great. However, take 5 steps away, compare it to a Christopher Nolan movie. Maybe Tenet, maybe Inception, maybe Interstellar. Does it seem like a good, viable product just because it looks like a grandiose production because it's trying to test your mind? It doesn't. It's trying to make you feel smarter because you're playing something that looks pretty, just like a Christopher Nolan movie. That's all that it is. And because of all those resources, they're just like, okay, we're kind of losing a little bit of money on the newer titles. So let's take some of the people from 14. They're just using all of that to then just make a whole new thing of 16, but 14's whole division is paying homage to prior games. And that's why 16, although great as it is, could be a lot better if they just had a fusion of original writers with the team of Crystal Dynamics to make it a more fleshed out thing. I'm saying great in the concept about how other JRPGs are in the current vastness, Nocturne. JRPGs right now are not as hot as they used to be. Being okay is the new decent. Being great is the new good. Being fantastic is the new breathtaking. We have to take what we can get. All I'm saying is, Square as a company has a lot of problems, and the biggest problems come into fact of they've gotten very complacent and they've gotten very lazy with each and every installment. After 12 and after 12 Revenant Wings, which is actually a pretty good mobile game for a Nintendo DS, could probably check it out for all handhold gamers, so look for it in vintage stores. It's going to cost you a pretty penny, but hey, I recommend it. Good 11.5, maybe 12 out of 13. But I digress. If Square actually can make a good enough game to actually blow me out of the water for the Final Fantasy lineup, I wouldn't be that upset about it. I want it to be great again without the quotations around it. I want it to be as good as Octopath Traveler, for instance. I want it to be as good as Resident of the Fate. I want it to be as good as Last Story. Because the JRPG market is one of my top 5 genres of games, aside from platformers, racing games, third-person shooters, and I'm going to keep that last one a secret in case y'all don't know. But that's my diatribe about that small stuff. With let's see, Nocturne says, I don't know, let me know when Square releases the whole freaking game and not another $70 quote-unquote chapter. I will let you know, good buddy. I'll let you know. It's not gonna fucking happen, but I'll let you know.
This one.
The day Square releases a whole freaking game without it being some kind of classified bullshit is the day that we get Half-Life 3. The day we get the full freaking game from Square about, you know, Final Fantasy is the day that the cake is no longer a lie. The day we get a full Final Fantasy game without it being a $70 chapter is the day that I am actually in a high-profile anime for Funimation. And I hate Funimation.
Are we too late?
There might still be someone inside.
We were gonna be too late no matter what. I will point out a critique, and this is just a writer's thing. I know the writer, a director, and editor for a company has critiques for a video game about writing. Perish the thought. So, when you're writing a dark fantasy or a dark anything story, having constant negatives does not make a coherent narrative. It only makes your story more palpable for a depressed audience, which in turn internalizes a lot of constant mourning within your consumer bases. I say this because Final Fantasy XVI doesn't have a lot of levity. It's a constant downward trajectory of depression. Even the ending, which I do know the ending, it's not really the most uplifting thing. Because now it's just trying to make light of a whole situation by trying to sensationalize so many people's suffering. Kind of like how we do in the real world when we try to do all these war pictures. It sensationalizes a lot of people's traumas that have lived through the worst points of their lives, but we keep on making those for Oscar baits, and that's not good. That actually has proven to kind of traumatize a lot of people that have lived through those wars and actually have been in those front lines. It's kind of fucked up. Same way as doing like a lot of Holocaust movies, it does traumatize the survivors of the Holocaust by seeing more of it to where they end up more traumatized internally. The whole psychosis is the same reason that the narrative of 16 being so downer all the time with no real levity, not just sparks of levity, but actual congruent levels of levity, is kind of one of the down markers when it comes to the story. if it had more levity to kind of balance out the good and the bad, this would be a lot more solid and I'd feel more invested. But instead, it's just more like a punch card of how many people died in this, how many people suffered through that, how many people are going through this bad moment, how many of all these other things. And I get the whole thing for the masses when it comes to uplifting about oppression, fantasy, bipolar disorder, abuse of power, and a race of people literally being worked to the stone. I understand that. But even just a shred of hope of like, you can save these people and make it a whole building block of finding a cure for these people going through the stonification or trying to find ways to all this sort of stuff. You could make it more of a thing because although this is supposed to be a downward story, this is still high fantasy. You work the fantasy angle into your darkness to make it sort of like it's a balancing act of you can one day find a cure. You can somehow save these people by doing what you can. It then gives your audience some hope of like you can come to a good conclusion even if you have to lose everything. And yeah, the ending of the game's supposed to do that, but it's also kind of like, okay, so I can't even enjoy my own victory. What was the fucking point of me playing the game? But we'll address that at a later point. I know Nocturne's giving me shit, but I think he also gets what I'm saying on a serious note because I'm being dead serious. This is probably the most dead serious I've been for this game in a long fucking time when I'm not trying to make jokes or anything. I'm giving this the critique lens that it doesn't need to be constantly downer about its constant topics. You can insert positive angles into giving a seed up, an uprise, and a seed of a better tomorrow in your dark fantasies without it being Game of Thrones constantly being a downward spiral all the time. Because the more that you feed the negative to your consumer bases, the more you end up creating more negative creatives or Jared Leto's, depending on how you want to look at it. And that's not good for the market. You got to think more about your consumer base to work more as a good telling story, but also knowing how to optimize what it is that you're trying to perceive more for your narrative basis.
I thought you lot were all spent.
Murderers. They drove the bearers to this.
Wait. These two aren't turned.
That bitch of an innkeeper must have sent them. Colluding with the enemies of the Empire is a...
Nocturne says, I mean, Final Fantasy VI didn't happen outside of Edgar hitting on Realm. 90% of that game is Vector pillaging the world until Kefka literally winning, and the only hope is Molbiz, and even that required Terra to almost give up or die trying. It's only when they're make it to Kefka that they are gallivanted in their hope. Cyan is literally catfishing girl. Yeah, Cyan catfishing that girl was fucked up. But even still, just 10% is enough to make people love 6. I still think 6 is one of the best RPGs ever made. But that's still the thing. Just 10% of hope is enough for your narrative. How much percent is in 16? I'm going to tell you guys. Not a lot of hope is in 16. You still need at least a good margin of a positive hope for your narrative. 16, you don't fucking have that. That's just my whole thing.
serious offense.
And for their crimes shall they be punished. Such is the law.
Like, these fucks, where did they come from?
May purge the night and welcome lasting dawn.
No, but seriously, like, where the fuck did these come from? What is the point of the Resistance? What is Cid's whole mission anymore? What are the Eidolons' whole thing with their icons being this whole damning thing. What's the point of all of this sickness and turning to stone if there's no way of a cure? What is any positive of what's living in this world if it's constantly just going to lead into the sensationalism ending that we get? Like, what even is the point at the end of the day after that? Like, what's the hope? What's the 10% positive in your story? Don't get me started on Joshua. I don't want to get started on Joshua right now.
On these our swords, we swear. How dare you speak those words? Have you no honor?
I think this is the first time that Nocturne's seen me get this serious about the narrative prospect for 16. Like, he's so used to me being a joking asshole that I don't know how he feels about me being dead serious.
It's over. Get him.
Hooray, we did the murder.
Is that all of them?
Does it matter?
I think so.
Quest completed. But at what cost and what did we gain? Seriously, what did we even gain from doing all this? Unicorn Overlord. It's really... I mean, yeah. 200... Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck this 250 EXP. Fuck you.
I didn't see the abbot. He may still be alive.
Jill? Honey? You saw how many dead people were in there. Where the fuck you think the abbot is? Can we... look, I love Jill. Jill is a great character. She's an amazing host of Shiva. Can we talk about how there's a downgrade in female characters in Final Fantasy as of late? Can we talk about that, please? Like... okay. Game writers. Okay. Let's take a step back. I'm saying okay a lot because my brain is just like... Does everyone know why one of my favorite games to play as of late has been Tales of Berseria and recently Tales of Arise? It's because unlike 13 through now 16 of Final Fantasy, they actually write the women as women. Why am I saying it like that? Because if you talk to a real-life female in the world, they have thoughts, they have opinions, they have personalities, they have stuff they want to get off their chest, they have things they want to convey to the world. That's why I also love Octopath and Octopath Traveler 2. Because women can be themselves, they can be ladies. Jill, as amazing as Jill is as a support in battle and all that sort of stuff, what is her motivation for even being with Clive? Oh, Clive, I remember we were betrothed to be together, and after that you just went to disappear. But now that you've come back, my mission is your mission. Oh, Clive, you went a little bit overboard, but maybe, just maybe, if I stick around with you, our love will be enough to sway you for a lot of stuff. Oh, Clive, Sid has died. Well, I'll support your mission so you can be Sid yourself and do whatever needs to be done. Oh, Clive, when we're going to be fighting Odin, you're probably going to need my powers, but taking my powers will significantly weaken me and probably have me killed a lot faster. But let me give you this so we can procreate together to have a child. Oh, Clive, spoilers for the end of the game, but I'm still going to love you. Where is the fucking character here? Like, comparing Jill to Fran and Ash from 12, or Yuna and Lulu from 10. They had personalities. They had stuff they wanted to do. We don't talk about 10-2. But that's the whole fucking thing, and that's the whole fucking point, that they were written to be characters. They were written to be ladies. Jill is written to be a walking fleshlight. That's the whole thing at this point, narratively speaking. You could change Jill into being anyone and not miss a single thing. Jill could have died during the raid. Jill could have died during the time skip. Jill could just be a figment of your imagination. And you could have somebody new with Jill's moveset and powers. And what would you miss? Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. And even Nocturne's example of triangle strategy with Frederica will follow Sharanoa as long as she's helping with Roselle, and she will leave at some point if you don't. That's also giving urgency and a character. And I'm not trying to bash on 16 because it's the most popular thing to do. I'm doing this because this is also part of my job. I also make shows. I make movies. I'm in the midst of writing a video game. I'm doing a lot of stuff in the creative field. So when I have to do stuff like this, I have to give it the due diligence that not everyone else is trying to give it, of just like, oh, it's just this brilliant spectacle. This and Baldur's Gate 3 are the pinnacle in how you do dark high fantasy. Shut the hell up and actually look at the shit. Just take steps back. Take 5 steps back and look at the bitch for what it truly is. I'm not dissing Larian Studios. I love Larian Studios. They're one of the most effective independent things. But is their writing the best? No. I'm not going to sit here and just be all like, lose my gag reflex for Baldur's Gate 3 or for 16. You can be a high-selling game. You can be very pretty. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, you're so amazing and you're so breathtaking for no fucking reason. You have to earn those praises, not just from your consumer bases. Oh shit, the Abbot. Who would have seen this coming? Oh wait, me.
The bearers died protecting him, calling upon the little magic they had left in their bodies.
Clive, he's breathing.
We're friends of Martha. We're here to help.
Are the Imperials dead?
They are. Every last one.
If only that were true. The Black Shields will return. The Cullings will continue.
Why should I be invested when the game won't take the time to pace out all of these dramas and woes.
Rosaria will never be saved unless we save her. Tell Mother to beg Sin's aid and tell her this wasn't her fault.
I shall.
In here! We found a survivor!
Clive,
He's dead.
he's gone.
Luca Blight. That name sounds familiar. But Nocturne, to explain why everyone loves oh yeah! Shit, that is the closest thing we have to Kefka, now you bring that up. Huh. But to explain why everyone loves Asterion, or Asterion, it's because Neil, the voice actor, Neil, he's just very charismatic. The way that he conveys his speech patterns as Asterion, it just makes everyone kind of fall mesmerized by him. It's mostly just the voice acting carrying Baldur's Gate 3 is what makes it as high selling as it's been, even if the writing is just bleh. But then again, I'm also the same person that's just like, I think the setting of Faerun, or Faerun, however the fuck you want to pronounce it, Faerun is just kind of boring, because it's just Game of Thrones meets Dungeons and Dragons, even though Dungeons and Dragons predates Game of Thrones, but honestly, who gives a shit? It's the same fucking thing. Faerun is just for people with a proclivity to want just constant edgelord stuff without understanding where edgelord comes from as an origin basis in literature. But I digress. It's solely Neil and the rest of the voice actors making Baldur's Gate 3 as enjoyable as it is. And the mechanics aren't that bad-ish. It's just the voice acting is what makes it. Voice acting, artistry, and the pretty good mechanics. That's about it. Nothing else.
We've laid the Abbot to rest. The bearers. They didn't need to die like this.
But they did.
No, they didn't. But it was their choice.
Narratively
Fate
speaking.
had awaited them and chose to meet it on their terms, fighting for those who fought for them.
Arthur said they rose from their beds, threw themselves at the Imperials so she and the Abbot could escape.
I've gathered the bearers' remains. We should consign them to the tide.
There's a drawbridge not far from here. Redux jump. The currents there are swift. If the Abbot was still with us, he'd have taken the dust there himself and performed the casting. I'll get someone to...
I'll do it.
Of course. Cole and I will remain here and see to the Imperials.
You know, the older I get and the more I get extra vocal about, well, a lot of things I'm passionate about, the more I feel good about having an opinion again. Because I haven't really had an opinion all to myself in decades. And this feels good. This feels very good. But I already have a feeling there's some people gonna watch this VOD, or even watch this on YouTube in the full, and be like, oh my god, does V hate 16? When did I say I hate 16? Oh God, it's Jeff Bezos. Notorious Marx. You remember when you were hunting down legendary beast in 12? Well, we're bringing it back. So kill something.
Do you think it's spotted us, Torgal? What am I saying? Of course it has. It's a floating eyeball. Forgive me.
I don't even know what the fuck icon I was on. Okay, so while I'm fighting Jeff Bezos, so yeah, it's not that I hate 16. I don't hate a lot of games. I just hate when it's lazy approaches to making a good game. You hate the developers, not the product. That's how I put it down. Like, you don't hate the product, you hate the developer. Because the product has no reason to be but itself. What the fuck? Get your fucking ass back here. And you have the nerve to... I don't know if Nocturne's still here, but I'm calling Hex. This is some bullshit. I was whooping its ass. That's some bullshit, game. You know that's some bullshit. It's like when those thugs in Yakuza just kind of were there for a hot minute and then they just fucking dipped. Like, I'm whipping Jeff Bezos's ass, and then this fucking game wants to be like, oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna have the ring out portion be set right here on this very arbitrary line to make it oh so much more fascinating for you, the player. Bitch.
See that coming.
Boo. As I spam the same combo another 30 times. Yay. Kind of makes me want to go back to fucking Devil May Cry. God, I miss playing Devil May Cry. I should do a year of Devil May Cry games. Just 1 year. Who's a good boy, Torgal? Yeah, this game is those two combinations, Nocturne. I'm not gonna lie. It is Witcher and DMC. But again, for anyone who's gonna be like, does V hate 16? Again, I hate the publisher, not the game. A product doesn't have the autonomy to say that it's an awful thing because it's the developer and the developing team and the publisher that's at fault for this. 16 is a product that is released unfinished and unpolished. So we blame Square. I don't hate 16 for what its developing team and its publisher wants to do, because that's not fair. I'm judging it on its own merits, though, where I don't hate it. I think it's an okay game. I just think that it needed more time and more work poured into it. That's all.
So shall the waters cleanse thee of thy burden, and bear it out to sea.
And now they are truly free.
What the fuck? Jill!
What of the Imperials?
Pyre was made. It's more than they deserve. We should go back. Cole is worried about Martha.
All right.
Oh yes, our lovely Jill, who we totally earned the love for organically. Not like she was written to just be our love interest, rather than earning her love through hard work, perseverance, and watching it develop step by step. Remember the days when you could play a game and you could watch the characters develop their relationship in real time with you? I don't remember those days anymore either. But God, Jill could have been so great. Hell, Clive could have been amazing. But Torgal is perfect because Torgal is baby. Look at him. He can do no wrong. He's a good dog. No one, not a damn thing, could say anything bad about Torgal. Because Torgal is the best. Good boy. I will fight anyone who says that Torgal is a terrible, terrible fucking character. He is baby. Look at him. He is precious. He is everything. You will respect him.
How do?
You ain't got shit, old man.
Take care out there, eh?
No one survived then.
Nope.
I'm sorry. Before we passed, one of them bade me tell you not to blame yourself.
Doesn't mean I won't. Doesn't mean their blood's not on my hands. Cole said you cast their remains. That was good of you. But it should have been me. This was all my fault.
How? You couldn't have known.
But I did. And I turned a deaf ear to the warnings like the fool I am. The rumors started moons ago. Of black-clad devils descending on villages in the dead of night to slit the throats of sleeping bearers. I assumed it was all just nonsense concocted by the Empire.
Where are the scenes that actually show this? This is going to be the one stream where I'm just giving a whole bunch of writing tips and do's and don'ts, and I do not apologize for this because I'm probably never going to do this again. It's genuine practice to do show, don't tell, or tell, don't show. That is true. However, a good balancing act is when you know how to do both in good execution. The Black Shields, we could have had a lot of foreboding shots of them, a lot of building cutscenes, certain nods of the Imperial armies bringing in these illustrious members to the fold. And now we're just being told about them being a rumor from the Imperium. We fought them, yes, but were they a challenge? No. Were they a narrative obstacle? Barely. What the fuck is the point of this? Nocturne says, it would be cool if he had an AI that either you could train and he would fight on his own based on how you would give Torgal commands. That would be trying. We know Square doesn't do that anymore. So we have to be happy we can pet Torgal and that's it. Look, man, as long as I have the precious baby, I'm good with that. Because Torgal is everything. But back to this Black Shields thing. We are just introduced to them as just a regular, nameless mob. But they're supposed to be built up to be this suddenly dangerous force in the Empire. How does that translate? How does that make the gamers, and therefore your audience, feel the fear? When you guys can tell me that, and then all of a sudden just try to say that I don't know what I'm talking about because I've never made something myself, I will then give you your fresh starter cap with copium on the front, and you can give that to your children because that's cap. That's complete copium, my guy. Yeah, people could say I'm an idealist for wanting at least 10% hope and optimism for a story like this, but at least that's a narrative critique that makes sense, that you don't need constant negative in a story this dark. You need some positive moments that actually are legit moments. Not foreshadowing nodes of death flags or downward spirals. Because that's not a good story if your audience is just expecting the worst to come out every 5 fucking minutes. That's not good narrative hanging fruit there. But if your guys are just going to be like, I don't know what I'm talking about, this game is just perfect, and the fact they just introduced these guys out of nowhere, then just said all this stuff about how big and bad and imposing they are, here's your starter cap with copium on it, because I ain't got no fucking time.
Nothing but a ghost story meant to make folk think twice about lending a hand to a fugitive bearer.
And in ordinary times you would have been right. What these Black Shields are doing is unthinkable. Which begs the question, why do it at all? My mother obviously has a hand in this. I cannot make sense of her actions.
And picking what goes on in that woman's head is a job for someone with more time on their hands. Right now, I need swords and men to wield them, preferably big ones.
Okay, I'm only gonna pause this additional time because Nocturne brought up a good point. Benedicta was one of the few women with agency Astute agency, but still agency, and they killed her off forthwith. When you think about it, it's the same thing with a few other women in fiction, like Alcina Dimitrescu, and also the puppet, whose name I keep forgetting, in Resident Evil 8. They're relatively killed off the soonest, despite having the most going for them narratively. But we're going to focus on Benedicta for now because it's 16. The very setting of whatever planet this is lends to the factor of wind is probably the more dangerous element, because without the need of airships, because they no longer exist, and the other eidolons or icons are just constantly trying to shift the world, what's the only power that is untamable? What is that one power that can destroy nations? That's air power. Benedicta could have been a later stage boss. We could have fought any of the other icons at that point, because Benedicta, in all fairness, should be more challenging. It's gonna be too challenging to write this character through a long arc in the game. What should we do? We could just, kill her off in the first part of the story. Hey, you know what? That sounds pretty good, Bill. Sounds pretty good. Who's that guy recording us? Oh, he says his name is VR Nocturne. He's like some future CFO or something. He's also making his own video game. He says he's just sitting in with his dog. I don't know why he has the tape recorder or anything. It's probably just trying to take some good notes. So, for Benedicta, she has some agency, but what if we just make her dick crazy? We're just gonna make her obsessed with dick? Yeah. All right, cool. We'll just make her a very loose woman with no special agency other than the fact of she's relying on men to provide her happiness because of some undue trauma. So we're gonna rip off Berserk? We're gonna rip off Berserk. She's gonna be Casca, but white. I thought her name was Casca. It doesn't fucking matter. No one reads anymore. That's probably going to be clipped somewhere. Someone's going to probably animate that at some point. All I say is, look up Weaver of Passion, have him animate that whole thing. It'll probably get me all demonetized, but honestly, I'm okay with that at this point. I don't care if Twitch takes away my Twitch channel at this rate anymore. What else do I gotta fucking lose? Jeff Bezos don't like me. I don't like Jeff Bezos. This platform's dying anyway.
Those Imperials think they can come in here again and threaten my people, they're in for a rude awakening. Oh, before I forget, Stolas from Otto landed just before you arrived. He asked me to tell you that Gav has returned.
Then we must as well. Will you be all right here, Martha?
We can stay longer if you wish.
No need. I'll be ready should the Imperials come calling. Though I wouldn't turn my nose up if you were to lend me a pair of them strapping young curse breakers.
What the fuck? Martha, you about to make like a sex tape or something? What the fuck? Those strapping young curse breakers. Homegirl about to probably get some dick in a minute. Goddamn. Everybody just wanting the fucking middle of an apocalypse. Cool. Mucking, stacking, packing, peeking, palming, foisting. If I see you been fingering, I'm gonna kick you out of my bar. Good boy. Good boy, Torgal. Oh, sorry, boy. Oh my god, side quest. I should probably do some of those. However, what time do we got? We got a little bit to spare to just do one side quest and then
Best off staying where we are for now, I reckon.
call it for the time being.
You'll only make it worse.
Oi, you there! Don't just pass me by.
I'm standing right here.
You handy with that sword of yours?
Maybe.
Yes, you are. Bet you're a bloody marvel with the thing.
Maybe.
Question is, are you willing to use it or not? Because a flock of noble chocobos are in need of help.
Chocobos.
You heard me right. Wild birds? Hmm? Big ones? And not just any chocobos at that. Whiteheart and her flock are the bravest
Stewie
birds
Griffin
you can
wrote this game.
see. They protect travelers round these parts from bandits and the like.
Chocobos. Fighting bandits.
Wait, what?
It's true. Why, they saved me from a gang of footpads only yesterday.
Oh, I know this side quest.
Back, looking to settle the score. Well, go on then. Don't just stand there. Go and help them.
I know this side quest.
All right.
We have to do this. This is the perfect one to stop this.
Sword cut across the way over yonder. The rotten scoundrels were driving the poor things towards the old dock. It's a dead end, that is. You save Whiteheart and her flock, you hear me? There ain't a pluckier bird in all the world. She's a hero to us locals. And don't worry, you'll know her when you see her right enough.
We have to do this. We have to do this.
I give those no-good bastards a hiding from me.
Clive, stop talking to Stewie Griffin's insert character. We have to go. This is one of the few moments where Clive can have a genuine character moment.
That's quite a name for a chocobo.
We have to capitalize on these moments. But I know probably the main question is, why is this stream so much shorter than it should be? Because if I'm getting over opinionated about stuff that's important, I want it to simmer down so I can do a much longer fun stream next time. Because I know the moment I start getting very analytical, I can't stop, and then I just start to kind of lose energy fast, and I'm trying to not push myself to do stuff that's going to make me more exhausted, and I already have a full day. I have 2 reviews I'm recording for, a voice acting thing, and yeah, I'm going to need a 24-hour stream to rip the AAA game industry. I'm going to need a 24-hour stream. But only if we can get, like, 500 followers.
I thought Ambrosia was one of a kind. Speaking of brave birds. Looks like they went that way.
You mean the path where there are the scorpions?
This one. Over here. Get him.
Look easy.
These chocobos aren't going down without a fight.
Why would they, Clive?
got you cornered, Feathers. You didn't think you'd seen the last of us, did you? You've been bad for business. But I reckon someone will pay good coin to mount your head on their wall.
Not around here, they won't.
Oh. And why's that, eh?
Because she's something of a hero in these parts. You hurt her, and I hurt you.
Piss off. Or better still, how about we hurt you both?
All right then. But don't say I didn't warn you.
It's over.
Get him. Get him.
Sick him. This one.
Get him.
Ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-dum.
This one. And another
Moron. Was that a man or a woman? The voice direction could not be any clearer, so I'm a little confused. Was that a man or a woman?
You're safe now.
Hey!
White Heart, I presume. Do you know her, boy?
Hey!
That scar. It couldn't be. Ambrosia. It is you. You survived. And you found yourself a flock.
Oi! Is it over? I thought I'd come and see how you were getting on. Oh, well, you sorted the bastards then. I knew you would. And the whole flock made it through unscathed.
All three of them.
They did. And not only that.
Well, I'll be. I never stopped to think our hero here might once have been someone's mount. Though I dare say she'd suit a fine fellow like yourself. Reckon our feathered friend must have learned a thing or two from her master. Kind-hearted warrior that you are. Bird like her would have cost a princely sum. You born a lord or something?
Well,
no, sorry. I didn't mean to pry. Don't matter who you are. You done right by me.
What is it, girl?
She wants her master back, I reckon. Told you. And it seems her pals agree.
But you have a family.
You want to come with me?
But you have a family.
Well, bugger me if this ain't a heartwarming sight. The lads down the stables will be hearing about this tonight. Oh, stay right where you are.
But she has a family now. Okay. Silly old girl.
Doesn't she cut an handsome figure, eh?
She does indeed. How much do I owe you?
A few scraps of leather's the very least I owe old Whiteheart. Oh, I'll be sad to see her go, of course. But she's earned her right to happiness and more besides. Don't you worry. We'll get along just fine without her. You hear that, Whiteheart? You've earned yourself some time off. You have fun traveling with your master now. You seem awful familiar now I get a proper look at you. When those chocobos swarmed my cart on the road, didn't you? No, that can't be right. That fellow was a bearer.
Must have been my double.
Oh, must have been, eh? Oh, that'll be the excitement getting to me. Silly sod that I am. Pay me no mind. Best be on my way. Good luck to the both of you.
Yeah. Let's run.
You take care of your flock for now. I'll call you when I need you.
See, a moment like this would have been nice in the main story. Like, Clive actually having a genuine good moment, which is just like, there's some light in my world. Instead, it's a fucking side quest. After 18 long years, 18 years, Clive has finally been reunited with his faithful steed. Hold that button to summon Ambrosia, and X to mount the chocobo. We did a good thing here, Jill. Torgal, we did a great thing here. Now I'm gonna rob these people of their treasure chest. That's just the kind of hero I am. Hey, has anyone seen my vial of black blood? No. No, I have not. Someone robbed me. I'll probably get someone to help save that for you. I can do it for a price. Okay, I only got 250 gil. I'll take it. Alright. So did you find my black blood? I sure did. Hey, this looks just like the black blood I had before. Imagine that. I miss Wally. Wally was a good dog. Oh, absolutely a diva. Don't get me started. But Wally was a good dog. All right. So there's only one problem. I don't remember where I'm going. Oh shit, I went back the way we came. Ah, damn it. I'm looking at the quest marker. It's saying to go to the hideaway. But I don't want to go to the hideaway. Although I do have to end stream, so I should probably go to the hideaway. So, you don't need a sense of direction anymore. It's 2024. I mean, when you write, you write. Who needs a compass? Who needs direction in their lives? Okay. And that's so 2000s. We're in the 2020s. We don't need a compass. That's boomer talk. A compass. Okay. Okay. All right. I don't know what to get. Back in my day, we didn't even have mini maps. We had to draw maps or make the part of the brain responsible for location and pathing larger. That's great, Grandpa. Now it's time for your meds. Get your fucking hands off me. Oh God, Grandpa's gone crazy again. Someone get Mr. Needle. Get off me! Oh, Grandpa, this would have been so much easier. Get your devil hands off me! Swing! All right. So cool. So now God damn you, Nocturne. God damn you.
Where's Gav?
Somewhere, I imagine. But we got a missive. So let's save the game proper. Ignore the level 45 beneath. It's fine. It's fine. I haven't been obsessed with this game to where I forgot to save, and I've only been stuck on level 45 because I'm too obsessed with playing Persona 3 Reload. I don't have a problem. You have a problem. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this hour and a half plus playthrough of us going back into 16 for the announcements, where tomorrow we will be doing Ghost of Tsushima. Wow. Where we will be doing Ghost of Tsushima tomorrow. But we will be doing some stuff next week of Persona 3 Reload and Tales of Abyss. So look forward to the bi-weekly weekend schedule. And this Wednesday, either before or after the other stream I'm doing, we'll be finally going back to Neo The World Ends With You. So disregard any Monday and Thursday streams for now. I'm not giving them up. I'm just pacing myself to better myself. It's a letter from Mitsuru that says, "Girl, you're nothing like me. My hair is better. My story is better. And I get laid by the hero while developing my own relationship on screen constantly. And I own my own company. What do you have, Jill? Huh? Huh?" That's what I thought. P.S. Persona. And then it releases the evoker and Jill is frozen in solid ice. Has to turn into sheep to get out of it, though.
And you say Sid built this place?
Well, I can't really build what's been lying around for several thousand years. But it was his idea we claim it for our own.
She's a better cryokinetic. God damn. I'm waiting for that death battle to happen now. Oh wait, I'm sorry, they can't because Rooster Teeth is going out of business, so they have to get their own money now. Sucks to suck.
Today, it smells like a still. It would explain Blackthorn's foul mood. All that pounding must be splitting his skull.
Who the fuck?
Chocobo, chocobo, why can't you fly? What good are your wings if you can't reach the sky? Flap harder, says bluebird, flap harder, says crow. Flap harder or into the oven you go!
We're just gonna walk away. This child is clearly deranged. We're never gonna speak about this moment ever again. No one ever mentioned this moment ever again. The child is clearly deranged. Amateur. Oh, he's trying to be a streamer. Out of my way, box boy. We will never speak of this moment ever again. But look, we found Gav. That kid should be. I want to be a blitzball kid. Oh, but I digress. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. Make sure you come back tomorrow for some feudal Japanese goodness of us trying to reclaim Tsushima from scratch as best as we can. So, I actually think since I'm playing this on PS5, I'm going to have a brand new file anyway. So, look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for Ghost of Tsushima. And you guys just be good people. Bye.